My name is Jessica Castles, and this is my persuasive presentation for Public Speaking 231. Imagine neighborhoods filled with butterflies landing on colorful flowers, birds singing in trees, and knowing that your yard is actually helping the ecosystem rather than harming it. This can all be accomplished by one simple decision, and that is to make native species swaps in your lawn. Homeowners can create positive impacts on the environment by replacing their lawns with native plant species. I became interested to learn more about the impact that native plant species have on the ecosystem. As I spend a lot of time outside, I noticed that a lot of pollinators tend to migrate towards those native plants. And upon some of my research, I found that the reasoning behind that was actually more interesting than I could have imagined. So today, first, I'm going to explain how native plant species are critical for pollinators. I'm going to explain how they help to improve biodiversity and soil health, and finally, how each homeowner can make a lasting impact, starting with one small step. So first, we're going to look at the problem that happens when homeowners choose traditional landscaping over native plant species. Traditional landscaping contributes to the decline of pollinators and weakening ecosystems. Lawns and ornamental plants provide little food and habitat for insects and animals in their ecosystem. Ramos, Hiliberto, de Espanis, Vasquez, they explain in one of their studies that declining pollinator populations actually weaken the plant pollinator networks. They cause the ecosystem to be less stable and more vulnerable to change. So, traditional landscaping limits biodiversity. They actually require more water, fertilizer, and maintenance than native plant species. Burkhart, Talamy, and Schreiber explain that suburban landscaping with native plants have higher bird and butterfly populations than non-native plants. And native plant species are able to they have adapted to the climate and the soil in which they're native to, so they're able to thrive without as much maintenance. Fortunately, homeowners have an easy solution to make an immediate difference. By planting native species, planting native species is an effective and practical solution for homeowners to implement. Native plant species have naturally evolved with their insect and animal counterparts. Franklin and colleagues explain that native plants and trees play an important role in maintaining biodiversity and healthier ecosystems. Even one flower bed or section of your yard can create a valuable habitat for pollinators and wildlife. Hoyler, Chapolka, Pryor, and Summers explain that residential yards with greater tree biomass actually have a higher soil carbon levels. And so higher soil carbon levels improve soil quality and make healthier plant ecosystems, and they're able to strengthen local ecosystems. Imagine your community if homeowners made this small change. If more homeowners were able to plant native plants in their communities, then they would create communities that future generations would benefit from. Native landscaping is actually healthier for the environment, for both the people and the wildlife. Franklin and colleagues explain that native trees and vegetation actually strengthen biodiversity, which create healthier ecosystems, which benefit both nature and the community. As homeowners start to plant native species, we end up with these neighborhoods that are connected habitats that are better able to support wildlife and pollinators. So imagine, colorful flowers, thriving pollinators, songbirds, opposed to manicured lawns that do very little to benefit their ecosystems. So if every homeowner was to replace a portion of their yard, they would contribute to an impact that would last for generations. Your yard could actually become part of a network of habitats that protect our natural resources. Now that we understand the shortcomings of traditional landscaping and the benefits of native plants, let's look at how each homeowner can contribute in their own yard. So today we discussed the decline in natural plants and how that is a problem for pollinators and biodiversity. We also discussed how planting native plants is a practical solution and how homeowners can create a small change in their own yard to make that solution come true. Planting native is a simple yet powerful support to protect natural resources for future generations. So I encourage you all to research some of the native plants that are in your own communities and possibly visit a local nursery and see if you can find at least one native flower, shrub, or tree to add to your yard. You don't have to redesign the whole yard to make a big difference. The next time that you look at your yard, I want you to see it as something more than just maintenance, right? I want you to see it as a habitat for birds and butterflies, and something that future generations can enjoy for years to come. So one yard can make a big difference, and together we can grow a better future.